Can you please show how or what to store the semen in? How do you make the semen warmer when I inseminate my girl? All right, that was from Yellowstone Australian Shepherds. So this may take a little while on this one. We'll see how far this goes with this one. So we're just going to talk now about generally answering that question about generally collecting, storing and shipping semen and how you do it and what you have to do to get it done. So the problem is this: when you collect semen artificially from a dog in a cup, you're not doing a natural breeding, you are stepping in and you're controlling the process, which there's reasons to do that. We always do that, by the way, with Frenchies. We don't let Frenchies breed naturally. The reason we don't let Frenchies breed naturally is because, number one, they have a hard time getting it done, which can result in a failed conception because the dog squirts it on the ground because he can't get it done. You can end up with dogs getting overheated because they exhaust themselves trying to get it done. And you can rule out all of these sexually transmitted diseases like canine herpes and brucellosis by doing a artificial insemination. So we do artificial inseminations. So you've collected from a dog. Now you've got a number of choices. One is that you're going to put it into the female immediately. Nothing special to be done here. You just need the right equipment, which is basically a syringe and an AI rod. Is the most basic way of doing it. I've got videos how to do that.
Yes. And if I can get females pregnant, anybody can.
So to relate that story, this is when I had a total knee replacement done here some 4 years ago. What happened, Tammy?
James was laid up and he looked at me and he says, we have 4 customers, females to breed, and 2 of ours. He says, you're going to have to go down there and AI those dogs. And I went, what?
I said please, didn't I? Say please?
No, you have to.
You have to do it!
And so anyway,
follow my command,
I
woman.
went down there, got the 6 females, AI'd them.
Collected and AI'd them.
Yes.
What was your success rate? Was it 0?
It's all 6 were pregnant.
100%. There you go.
I was patting myself on the back
Quite
because
rightfully so.
James would always brag about how many females he got pregnant.
Yep.
On dogs.
Dogs, yes.
4-legged kind.
Yes.
So anyway, so I was real proud of myself, and if I can do it, anybody can do it. This is so easy, so easy.
So yeah, we've got a video on how to AI, and I've got a number of videos on this. It's really, I honestly think that you can probably do this job better yourself than your vet can.
Oh yeah,
and the reason
100% better, because you're going to take the time to hold that female up in the upright position with her back end
Yep.
up comfortably.
Yep.
And hold her there for 45 minutes.
Yeah, so the deal is when you go to the vet, they don't have 45 minutes to spend with your dog.
They're
They've got
busy.
5 minutes. They're busy. And so
And
what
then
happens
to
is,
other sick dogs.
yeah, so what happens when you go to the vet is, number one, they can't take the time you take, so some of the semen comes out of the dog. Of course, that doesn't do any good. You're practicing the rhythm method.
Yeah.
That's good for Catholic dogs, but not for regular dogs.
Because you can put a female down and it starts to come out and you can pull her back up.
Yeah.
Because
yes.
that's the
Yes.
female you want to get pregnant, you know.
You want to stay in.
You want it to stay in.
And the other thing about vets is, guess where the sick animals go?
Yep, I just said.
Did you?
the sick
Yeah.
animals.
Right. So we've got videos, but basically, when you're doing a side-by-side artificial insemination, the only thing that you need is basically an AI rod and a syringe. You may want some extender. The extender is used when you're talking about low volume. If you've only collected half a cc or 1 cc from your dog, that's a pretty low volume. And in those situations, add some warmed up extender to it to double the volume will make it easier to inseminate a dog. So in those situations, having some extender makes sense. And by the way, the extender that we sell, it's very, very good stuff. It's not cheap, it's $45 a bottle, but it'll keep in the fridge for a couple of years. So you can have a bottle in there for when you need it, and if you need it, you've got it. Because the problem is, if you don't have any extender in the fridge, that's the time that a dog didn't produce much and you wished you had some extender.
Right.
So I think it makes sense when you order something from us, order a bottle of extender. It's not that expensive and it's got a long shelf life.
Yeah.
All right, so that didn't answer the question. That answered the question about what do you do when you do a side-by-side. So here's the next situation, is you want to store the semen or you're shipping the semen. 2 different things, 1 product that lets you do that successfully, and that is my patented, by me, product called Shipmate that I developed some 7 or 8 years ago now, and it's had many iterations over the years to get to where its current situation is, and it's been a stable product for a long time. So what is Shipmate? So here, well, let's just talk about the problems about either storing or shipping semen, because they're both exactly the same. If you're going to store semen for any length of time, and I'm talking about more than 5 or 6 hours, then you've got to cool the semen down, and you've got to add extender to it. Why do you cool it down? Because cooling it down changes the metabolic rate of the semen. It gets to the point where it's almost in suspended animation. And we want to get the semen close to, but slightly above freezing. If you freeze the semen, you immediately destroy it. So what happens when you freeze semen, and that's going to be at 0 degrees centigrade or 32 degrees Fahrenheit. If you freeze the semen, at that point, ice crystals form in the semen and the surrounding media, and those crystals just completely rupture all the cells, and the animal, the organism, which in this case sperm, dies. Same thing that you'd experience if you've got frostbite in your fingers. Frostbite, it's bad news. You lose fingers over this, you lose toes, you lose noses, you lose ears. Those people who are exploring the Arctic and the Antarctic, Scott and those people who are going there the first time, a lot of those people died, and they died because they froze. Okay, so, but if we can get semen down to about 5 degrees centigrade, it can stay alive for a long time. But there are some things you have to do to get that done. You have to add extender. Extender is basically replaces the prostate fluid with a media that is the right pH, and it has nutrition elements to it and antibiotic elements to it that'll let the semen survive for a long time. This extender that we sell, which is from Canaplus, the Canaplus long-term or LT extender, is good for 10 days. You can potentially keep semen alive for up to 10 days with that extender. But it's not just as simple as that. You have to cool it down very slowly. So what the Shipmate product does is there's a microprocessor in a vacuum can, well, that was getting close to you there, in a vacuum canister, that slowly cools the semen down from room temperature, which is about 25 degrees centigrade, down to 5 degrees centigrade over 4.5 hours. It does it fairly quickly to 18 degrees. It does it very slowly, 1 degree every 20 minutes till it gets to 8 degrees, then fairly quickly to get down to 5 degrees. That profile is built into the Shipmate product. And Shipmate, I'm approaching now 6,000 consecutive shipments without a failure in semen. This thing absolutely works. The problem that you have is if you don't use Shipmate, how do you get it cooled down? And the answer is, every product out there besides Shipmate relies on you having ice packs and some kind of separator like newspaper between the ice packs and the semen, and there's no control over the process. So if you think about this, today it's going to be 100 degrees outside. The back of a FedEx truck, it's going to be maybe 120 degrees. So that's the environment you're in, 120 degrees outside temperature. Then it's going to go on a plane, if it's going to be shipped overnight, and the temperature in the plane might be 40 degrees centigrade. You've got these wild swings. There's absolutely no way.
Going the right way, right?
Yes, you are. You're good. There's absolutely no way of controlling this process by just a piece of newspaper that separates some ice packs from the sperm. So typically these products don't cool it down enough, because if they did, they'd get down below freezing and they'll freeze it. So they're not designed to get it down to 5 degrees. They're designed to get it down to maybe 15 degrees. It's not cold enough. So the semen typically doesn't last very long. You might get 24 hours out of it, you might not. It's hit and miss. When I first started doing shipments, I had all kinds of problems with shipping semen. They were all related to typically the semen not getting cold enough, or occasionally getting way too cold and freezing. Shipmate overcomes all those problems. So what is Shipmate? Well, it's an electronic digital flask. It's 149 bucks. It's reusable. You don't just buy it once and then that's it. You use it forever. It's got I've got canisters that I've been using for 6 years now that have made hundreds of trips. So those particular shipments, I've paid for the Shipmate in terms of comparing that with a $40 reusable, throwaway product. You use the thing 4 or 5 times, it's paid for itself. But that's not the point. This is like asking, look, you can buy a cheap rope from Kmart or Walmart to climb Mount Everest, or you can buy one for a rope from a mountaineering store. And which one do these people use? Well, of course, they don't rely on a piece of poly rope that's got a breaking strength of 100 pounds to climb Everest. They go spend 3, 4, 5 times as much and buy the right rope. It's exactly the same thing with Shipmate. If you think about this, the difference between a successful litter and no litter is thousands of dollars. The difference between a successful litter and no litter is a pissed off customer. You want to do the best you possibly can, always within reason. I mean, obviously, one solution would be is that you fly the stud all the way to where the female is, and you do a side-by-side AI. Obviously, that's in most cases not reasonable. It's expensive and it's stressful on dogs. The solution is to use Shipmate. So, long-winded answer to what I think is an important question. So the answer is whether you're going to store semen in the fridge because you know that you've got, maybe your dog's going to be booked up and you've got more than one person who wants to use your dog this week. There's a solution. Collect from the dog today, store it in the fridge. And you can have a single Shipmate flask that'll let you continually store semen in the fridge. You can use Shipmate to cool it down, get it to fridge temperature. And
this is where the construction is.
Yeah,
That I have to go backtrack.
I'll come back here real quick. You take 235. Yeah.
I know, but remember the construction.
You're good.
No, I have to backtrack.
No, you take this text. Yeah.
Take this one?
Yes.
South?
Yes.
Not Edmond.
235 south.
There's Edmond.
It says 235 south on the map.
Okay. Edmond's that way.
Okay.
I'm going to Oklahoma City now.
That's what it's telling me to do.
Okay. What's
So-
wrong? Edmond's that way.
Keep left at the fork.
What's wrong, James? You've got the wrong address.
Take left
in
of the
there.
fork. Keep left of the fork. Don't go left. Left. There you go. You're good
Turn
now.
off your-
You're good now. Oh, I'll just block this out. You're good. Now you're on 235 north. You're good. Okay.
This person doesn't know if they want
Yeah.
right side.
No.
Well, just hang there.
Continue on US 72nd North for 6 miles.
Yes, y'all get to enjoy that piece.
We'll just knock that piece out. Okay, we're coming back. We're traveling and
Well, they've got construction and they've added on new pieces, and it
Yeah.
was
right.
just
It's
a couple of days ago. This was all closed off.
that's a great thing about Google Maps, though, isn't it?
Sometimes.
It's well, yeah. That's
Because
yeah.
you can put it in sometimes, and it
well, that's
takes
true.
you on a
That's true.
what do you
But
call
think
it,
about the old
tour.
way where you'd have a big old map out in front of you and
Yeah.
trying to find a way, and it's just that was an art back in those days.
Yeah.
Those young people watching this don't even know what I'm talking about.
No, not a
But
clue.
But you need to know which way was north. You'd have had that, maybe even have a compass or look at the sun, and have a big, huge map that was the size of the whole windshield to be able to figure out where you're going. Those days are gone. Anyway,
Better
so back to where we were.
So I need to.
So you got 4 miles, 5 miles ago.
To where?
Northbound Kelly to. I'll tell you. I'll watch it.
Okay.
Anyway, so look, what you can do is you can use Shipmate to cool semen down for multiple collections that you put in your fridge. So what you do is this: you collect from the dog, you put it in Shipmate, you put it in the fridge. You wait 5 hours, it's cooled down slowly to fridge temperature. You take the semen sample out, leave it in the fridge, take the canister back out, ready for your next collection. And you can keep on doing that. Every 5 hours you can collect from a dog and stick it in the fridge. I'm not saying that you'll be able to collect from a dog every 5 hours, because you can't. But you could collect from a dog every day or every other day, and you could have 5 collections in your fridge by the end of the week from one dog. And you can use a single Shipmate canister to get that done. So the point here is that if you are shipping or saving semen, go invest in one of our Shipmate flasks. It will work wonderfully for you. We stand behind it and we'll help you if you need any advice on doing that. I've just wasted a good 50 minutes of your time, so that's the end of that video.
Oh, and remember, I've got one little short-haired boy left. He is a blue and tan, AT-AT, carries cocoa, carries cream. His daddy weighs 17, and his mama weighs 16. So I've got one little boy left. He's a solid blue and tan. AT-AT, carries cocoa, carries cream. So what he can make for you is lilac and tans, blue and tans, chocolate and tans, and platinums. So it's a nice little stud dog to have. Give me a call at 580-799-1910.
Thanks for watching, folks. Be safe. Later.
Bye.